So before we go today, we wanted to check in with Margaret one last time, and this time she's joined by former King 5 news anchor Dennis Bounds.
King 5 alum, leaving us all here by ourselves.
We ran off.
How's the other side?
Well, I've been on the other side for 5 years, and it's
Has it been 5 years now?
It was 5 years on April 22nd. April 22nd, 2016 was my last appearance on King as a paid employee. So it's been well over 5 years. And I've enjoyed it immensely. During the winter, you get a little bored sometimes when you've been through 5 months of rain and clouds and whatnot. But aside from that, retirement has been wonderful.
Dennis, you need to do what that guy in the UK did, who is a sports broadcaster. He just began to narrate and report from wherever he was, his dogs in the park, whatever was happening. I feel like that could plug a hole for both of us to continue to report. Just put it on Twitter, and it doesn't have to be anything at all.
Well, given the conditions of the pandemic, I should have been well practiced the last 18 months.
I would definitely subscribe to Dennis narrating, like making his breakfast. I could totally get behind that.
Yes.
Oh, you haven't seen my breakfast. It'd be very boring.
Oh. Well, you're a new grandpa now. How's that going?
It's great. We had a grandchild born about a month ago, and there were, not getting into details, there were some complications, and we haven't seen her yet.
Oh.
She's been treated. So we're looking after we're done with our stay in Minnesota. On the drive back, we'll stop at my son's house and see our grandbaby for the first time. And we are looking forward to that immensely.
I am so jealous. I'm totally jealous. I'm trying not to be that mother who tells their child to please hurry and have children, because we're not anywhere near that point. But I can't promise that I can hold that position.
Yeah, well, I don't blame you.
Yeah, over the last couple of years, it's tempting to ask that question, but we refrained from doing so.
Right.
And
good for you. I'll try to follow that example.
We've got the payoff.
Exactly.
Dennis, what is the difference, I guess, between being a parent and a grandparent?
Having not met the grandchild yet, the only thing I can say is that the parents have the hard part, and the grandparents get the doting part and the spoiling part. And I know my wife has already started the spoiling part. She started it many, many, many months ago. So the child will have an abundance of toys and gadgets for mom and dad to take her around.
Perfect. I can just see Debbie doing that, and I'm glad. I think, yeah, the doting part and the leaving when you're done part. Those are good things.
But they live in the area. All our kids live in the area, and that's a wonderful thing to have.
Yeah.
All right, so the two of you, I didn't know this until recently, but you both anchored together about 20 years ago. Was that here at King? What was that like? Fond memories?
That long ago?
King, yeah.
Oh,
it was the early 2000s, Margaret. For 3 years, we did the 11 o'clock news together.
Which was way fun. You were one of my favorite co-anchors ever. And Jeff Renner was doing the weather. And I remember us having just a lot of fun. Jeff has the same sense of humor. So in the winter when it would freeze, he would say, be sure to protect your tender vegetation. And I would say, and also your plants. And then we'd all laugh. The same joke a million times.
Well, it was many moons ago when I arrived at King, and I was doing the morning news. And I'd get into work at 4 o'clock in the morning, and I'd turn on the TV at 4:30, and there was Margaret doing, was it called Sunrise Today?
It was NBC News at sunrise, and it was well before sunrise. So there was not truth in advertising there.
The 30-minute news program prior to the Today Show.
Yes.
I enjoyed Margaret's work, and then she ended up in Seattle at another station, and then all of a sudden she ends up at King, which was a fun thing.
It was way fun for me too. And I split my time some of the time when I first started with Dateline NBC, and then eventually just got to concentrate on King, which was lovely and set the stage after taking 7 years off to do nonprofit work to come back and do New Day. So it's been, King is the longest standing home for me.
After I retired, Amity, every now and then Margaret and I would meet for lunch at a nice little barbecue place over in Bellevue. And in fact, our last lunch date was postponed. It was in March of 2020.
That's right.
It just started to break, and we thought, it's probably not a good idea.
We couldn't do
push
it.
down the road.
Yeah, we thought we'd just reschedule and we haven't seen each other in person since.
Exactly.
My goodness. Well, I hope that happens again soon, because I mean, I think anyone outside of this industry, I mean, doesn't realize, I mean, we spend so much of our lives with each other. We really become battle buddies. We
Yes.
really become friends, and it's touching to see your relationship. And we are here at King very grateful for the legacy that you have left for this station, that we all try being the operative word, try to carry on.
I'm sure you're doing a great job. Thank you very much. And I just want to thank Dennis for being such a good partner and a friend. And I'm glad that has carried on well beyond the time we spent on the air together.
Amity, is my pleasure. And Margaret, my pleasure to have worked with you. And when are you coming to Seattle so we can go finally have that lunch?
Oh, how sweet.